Imagine your teeth slowly dissolving into your mouth. The metallic taste, heavy on your breath. That's what I felt like for years in the midst of an eating disorder. Assalamu alaikum everyone. मेरा नाम ईमान है and I'm a second year MBBS student here at Shalamar. As I stand here today, I represent every woman, and if society allows, man, that have had to wipe their own tears over something as minimal as food. Food. हम सब सोचते हैं खाने के बारे में. But this is a preoccupation with food. The chocolates, ammi ki biryani, food that lingers on your tongue, food that decides who I am and what I feel. My earliest memory of waking up into a weight-conscious, orthorexic world is Ammi Jaan staring at the scale, scrutinizing every pound, every inch, every centimeter of her body. As women, we're made to believe that the world has space, but space does not always require filling. There is always a need to make yourself smaller, to fit into labeled boxes, boxes that they would throw away just as you've managed to climb inside. सोलह साल की थी, COVID period खत्म हुआ था, when for the first time ever there was a loud voice inside my head. मोटी हो गई हो. My cheeks no longer sunken, ribs no longer showing. Why was my skin not approximated to my bones anymore? So something in me snapped, and I embraced every bad thought that demanded rectification, followed by years of starvation. अम्मा से मार भी पड़ती थी फिर. Years of losing myself too. I don't deserve to eat. I gained a pound. Hair falling out in big chunks, family conflicts, the reason behind of which obviously was me. And then crept in another thought. Purging is always an option. So now her back hurts, and esophagus has acid-induced ulcers. The contents of my stomach await to being flushed away. Was I enough? Would I ever be? I lived vicariously through others, hoping that they would never know what it's like to be a caricature, not a person. वज़न गिरना शुरू हो गया काफी. The scale now scowled at me less as compared to before. The more my BMI dropped, the more I wanted to see it drop. क्योंकि eating disorders weight disorder नहीं है. They don't stop at a weight, they don't stop at a body size, they take until you have nothing left to give. So Eman now with blisters on her feet from the overnight cardio sessions. Eman with the falling grades and the sunken eyes. Eman with so little she could hold it in the palm of her hand. Eman with almost none of the Eman left behind. But the greatest despair came not from the physical implications of my illness, but from losing to my vanity. ये रोज़ा रखती थी, उसके लिए नहीं रखती थी. That's when my existence became a liability. So I thought, बस हो गई है. Anorexic, 18, and scared of even losing my eating disorder. Some sessions in, I bailed. Nahi ho raha. Therapy is not my cup of tea, says the glassy-eyed girl with a heart so heavy it weighed her shoulders down. रात के 12 बजे हैं. The open fridge, the deafening growl of my stomach, cheeks soaked in tears, in the midst of which I find myself unworthy of being heard, of being fed, of being known. Cameras and mirrors became inadvertently terrifying. Favorite meals became fears. Public settings the bane of my existence. All because I feared being seen. But kabhi to khatam hoga. There must be an end to this. Otherwise, it's just another girl with another sob story who couldn't make it in the world. All I knew was that I wished not to die, unknown, unremarkable, or is cheez se marna. So now I try to separate the Eman I am from the Eman I see. Not the face, not the body. She is not the clothes that are now too small to fit or the extra gulab jamun at the end of a meal. She is what she puts into the world. I am seen in my love for cats and in my crooked smile. So I try to look at myself through a lens untainted by disordered thoughts. Perhaps then, थोड़ी सी इंसान लगूंगी, if not appealing. According to Association of Anorexia Nervosa and Associated Disorders, eating disorders have the highest mortality rates of all mental illnesses, claiming up to 10,200 lives each year. That is a death every 52 minutes. While millions still suffering live with the implications of this illness. मेरा experience anorexia के साथ है, but it's not the only eating disorder. Among the most common are binge eating disorder, bulimia nervosa, and avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, each one as debilitating as the next. To anyone struggling in silence, the world does not reject you for being here, and it asks for nothing more than your presence. There is help. There are resources. Mental health helplines bhi hai, umang har waqt chalti hai. But help is there if you want it, if you ask for it. Because the hardest thing to do when it comes to eating disorders is to accept that you have one, is to accept that you have a problem. I dream of the day when we would have trained professionals, safe spaces, support groups on campus, so that no one has to struggle in silence. But that would only happen if we act. The stigma surrounding eating disorders khud nahi jayega. We must name it, challenge it, and replace it with empathy. So the next time you see somebody struggling, don't just say, खा लो, खाती नहीं है, or just stop eating, ना खाया करो. Support them, listen to them, and remind them that recovery is always possible. To anyone feeling alone in this, you are not. You belong here. You matter. And most of all, you are enough. back to this, I know through the society's lens, I'm seen as somebody padti rehti hai. So I am the bookworm, I'm the topper. But beyond the obvious is a person still struggling to find herself. Through my Raah-e-Talaash, my path of discovery, I have learned that I'm not defined by numbers. And that is my take-home message for you as well. Not the weight, not the pant size, not the plates of food, and not the grades. Your identity stretches far beyond it. And so does mine.